first things first, we'd like to say fuck Restream for changing how their multi-streaming platform works. They wanted to add a watermark to the free version of the Restream kind of platform, which lets you multi-stream to different places. This podcast, the live version, is going to be going out only to Kick as a result for this time, and then I'll work out how we might be able to do multi-streaming.
Home of Johnny Somali.
Not anymore.
No,
he's been arrested in Korea.
Yeah, Korea is now his home.
Yeah. So, that's shit. But what can we do about it? Well, quite a bit, but not right now because we should be streaming right now. Today's so weird because it's like a good day for reasons. I'm not going to say yet what the reasons are, but because I need to sort some other stuff so I don't want to say why. But I'm having a really good day, but also a really shit day.
Okay.
Like, work's been really annoying and stressful at just the worst times. And then, like, things like this have fucked up with Restream, and there's been, like, a bunch of really annoying shit happen, as well as it being a good day. And that always feels weird. Do you ever, like, you have days like this, you know, when, like, things are going really shit, but there's something, like, particularly good about it that's kind of balancing things?
Yeah, to be honest, nothing's happened to me in so long recently that I'm sort of just, so, no.
I gave you a beer.
You did give me a beer. I might need another one of those, but not another.
No,
but not another one of those.
You can have one.
Okay, I'll have one more.
You already owe me more money. You've paid me some money off.
Well, Jake, it's called leapfrogging, right? I borrow money off one guy to pay back another guy.
Is that actually what you've done?
No. That is what that's called, though.
Isn't that what a Ponzi scheme is?
I thought a Ponzi scheme was something else. I thought that was, like, specifically when you're fucking scamming somebody, like you say, I don't know. Ponzi scheme, I'm sure I've heard Danny DeVito say that.
Yeah, because I can imagine it in his voice.
In the role of Frank Reynolds, so.
Ponzi scheme. What's a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is a type of investment fraud where a criminal convinces people to invest in a non-existent company and then steals their money. The criminal pays returns to earlier investors using money from new investors. So it's leapfrogging, but like you've got like an investment, a made up sort of company. So it'd be like if I said to you, give us 20 quid, and then in a week I'll be able to give you 40, and then I go to another guy and go, give me 40 quid, and in a week I'll be able to give you 80, and then I just give 40 quid to you.
Yeah.
Why would you ever do that?
I don't know.
That sounds awful. That doesn't sound like a good scheme.
I knew a guy who was basically doing that with drug dealers, so...
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Ponzi schemes lure investors with promises of high returns that are not sustainable. Yeah. But how do they actually get any money out of it? Because, like...
I don't know. Why are you asking? I'm not the Ponzi guy. I'm not Mr. Ponzi.
Although I suppose, like, if I borrow 20 from you...
Yeah. You got 20
I've got 20.
You've got 20 quid.
Then I say to someone, invest 40. Yeah. I can give you 20 back that you originally gave me, and now I've got 40.
Yeah.
But then why didn't I just go to one person in the first place and say invest $1 million rather than starting at 20 and keep working my way up? That's weird.
You see, people aren't likely to do that, but they can invest small amounts or what they see as small amounts.
I know, that's fine. But when I go to the guy and say, "Will you invest $1 million?" he's still investing $1 million. Like, how do you actually get any money out of it?
I don't know. I'm not Mr. Ponzi. I don't know.
I don't understand how this can actually work.
Well, I don't think it did. He got caught out, didn't he?
Yeah, I know getting caught. Like, I know how you can like get caught, but even if everything went perfectly, where do you?
Here we go. High returns. Ponzi schemes lure investors with promises of high returns that are not sustainable. No investment. The money is not invested in any legit. Okay, blah 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 blah. Constant no money. Ponzi schemes require a constant flow of no. This is just saying what it takes to like run a Ponzi scheme, but
it just says you just have to convince people to give you more money. That's just convincing people to give you money. Why do you have to like I guess maybe paying back the previous people you've convinced is just to cover your tracks. It's just so like people won't get mad, so it's more sustainable.
It gives you credibility because then it's like, oh, just ring ring, hello, yeah, I'm calling from such and such bank. This guy came in and asked for like such and such a loan. I know he came to you guys earlier in the year. Did he make good on this loan? And then they go, oh yeah, he made good on this loan. So I suppose that's credibility then for the next bigger ask for them to go, yeah, okay, these guys said you paid back, so we'll give you this money.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of only like building credibility to then ask for the big bucks at the end.
Yeah,
and just never pay that back.
and then when you finally do get to the hey, can I have $1 million? You just go away. You just disappear. I assume it's what is the goal.
I understand why. Like, this is obviously not a popular way of scamming now.
No,
and I can see why.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem like it's going to make sense at all.
Yeah.
So, what Ponzi scheme are we going to do? Were we? I
don't know. I don't even know a guy called Ponzi, so I don't know how I'm going to scheme him. So,
well, we do need to come up with some sort of scheme for our dad's birthday.
Yeah, we do,
because we need to buy him 60 of something, and you've got no money or no job.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
or credibility.
Yeah. So, what, you're going to go out on the streets and suck someone off later, or what?
I might just cut out the middleman and just suck Dad off. I think it's
60 times. It's his 60th birthday. It's quite funny because Judd is quite fucked right now.
Yeah, I am.
So if anyone's got a job,
give me.
If anyone out there on the Kick streaming platform has a job, to look into a Ponzi scheme.
Johnny Somali's gone. I can take his position.
His place.
Yeah, I can take his place.
In Korea.
Yeah.
You'll get... Well... They'll probably like you more because you're not black.
Yeah.
Quite racist over there, no? In the Asian place, they don't like black people.
They just don't like anyone. Is what I've heard in Korea. Like including.
It's not North Korea, is it?
No, it's South Korea. But like, I feel like it's the same thing. I hear that a lot of South Koreans are quite violent. They can be quite angry.
Are they going to Squid Game him?
They could Squid Game him, yeah.
Yeah. It's probably not a bad option, really. If you were to choose between spending all your life in prison, or they'll do you a Squid Game.
It's not all his life that he's in. He's only in.
No, I know, but I'm kind of reframing it.
Okay, I think I'd do a Squid Games. I think I'd only do the Squid Games though if there was also the monetary in like.
Yeah, there is.
Okay.
There is, but like your odds of dying horribly are definitely. It's almost certain that's what's going to happen.
If it was like, oh, you do Squid Games, you don't have to spend the rest of your life in prison, and also there's the whole monetary
But only if you win.
Yeah, but only if you win. Then I would do it. But if they were just like, oh, Squid Games, but you get no money, but you do get let out of prison, I'd be like, no, I think I'd just stay in prison.
Okay, what about this deal? Like Squid Games, and you get the money at the end. Let's say it's $500,000. And how many years prison time would you have to be sentenced to take the Squid Game deal versus not?
I think like 30. It's like 30 years.
So we're like mid-20s. Well, I'm late 20s now. Because then you're like, oof, 70s is, Yeah. You're going to want a good 10 years of relatively livable time, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could manage being mid-50s to early 60s getting out. But even then, where are you going to get your money from?
Yeah. Not from Squid Games, because you didn't do it.
I'm just going to do a Squid Games.
Yeah, I do the Squid Games.
I'm just going to do
the Squid Games.
I'll just do it now.
Yeah, so... you know what? If Mr. Beast, if you want to invite me to some sort of Squid Games event...
An actual one.
Yeah, because you do them all the time, so...
Yeah, you don't have to pay for all the CGI and that. I'll just, actually die.
I'll eat your mouldy cheese on camera. That's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If that's one of the ways I get through a test, and...
Yeah.
I'll suck off Logan Paul.
It's just penicillin, really, at that point. It's just free healthcare in the fucking...
yeah, in America, that's actually a benefit.
Yeah.
They should market it like that.
They should do, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway... Halloween then. Halloween and bonfire night. That's what's happened recently. You went to a Halloween party, fam.
It weren't really a party.
Or a get together with your weird mates. Yeah. What was that like?
It was nice. So we just had a couple drinks. As friend Jack made some food. And
How did you pay for them drinks?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah, typical Hall.
So I went over, we had a few drinks, and we watched Phantom of the Opera, the original one from like the 1920s.
Fucking weird choice for Halloween.
They've got they have a tradition apparently on Halloween where they will watch a silent movie and then dub over it. So that's what we did. We dubbed over Phantom of the Opera.
That sounds really shit.
No, it was really funny. Actually, it was great.
In the vast majority of scenarios, like most of the time, that's not going to be anywhere near as funny as people think.
It was very funny.
Were you all very high?
No, we weren't. That like friend group doesn't do anything to do
Really?
with it. Yeah.
Oh, it's that friend group?
Yeah,
oh my god. 'Cause that's the type of thing, like, if you were high, I can understand that a bit more. But no, just a bunch of, like, sober freaks just, like,
totally
doing the voices. For
it was great.
That sounds weird as fuck, man.
That was great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Well,
we had a great time.
but you know what? I don't know, maybe me and you might find that funny doing that for a movie. But with, like, any other friends I know, that would just... I'd be like, can we just put the audio on?
No, well, there isn't audio. It's a silent movie. That's the fucking point.
I forgot when you said silent movie.
Yeah.
It's a silent movie, the Phantom
Yeah.
Prince. Oh, because that's got, like, songs and shit for it.
Yeah, in, like, the like, 1950s, 1960s versions of it. Not, like, the original 1920s Phantom of the Opera.
Did I tell you I went to see a silent movie recently?
No, you didn't.
I went to the cinema to watch Nosferatu, the 20s version, with a live organ player.
Yeah.
It was really fucking cool. It was it's not very long either because it's old and it's not really much story to it, to be honest. It was good, kinda. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Phantom of the Opera felt long.
Did it have music to it, or was it just fully silent?
It had some musical stuff, but it was kind of just like, I don't know, like 1920s sort of bar sort of plinky plank fucking music. It weren't like, it didn't have musical numbers.
You should come to the they do it every year, I think, where they do the live organ for the silent film, because it's super cool. The guy who does it, he's not like playing sheet music. He's just fucking winging it. He's like watching the film and deciding what music to make, and it's all like based off of like the actual music from it, and he's obviously remembered loads of how it goes. He's not just like coming up with new shit on the spot, but you know, he's kind of improvising. It's pretty cool.
See, I wouldn't know about that because I wouldn't be able to sit there in the audience and then do all the silly voices for the people up on the screen. I think the people sat next to me.
You could, but you might get kicked out.
That was the funny part.
Do you do what they will be saying, or do you like act like other shit's happening?
Yeah, we do, but we do a bit of both. We do like what they're saying, but then we also like, it's. I guess the closest thing to it would be is you never. I don't think you'll have watched it, but there was this fucking YouTube channel. I don't know the name of it, but they did basically like full fucking game playthroughs of like the Sonic games, but they dubbed over everything.
Oh man! I think I might have seen clips of it.
Yeah. So it was basically it was like that. It was
You know, when you're watching this, how many people were doing this?
I think there was about 6 of us.
6, and how many? So there's probably around that many key characters as well, right?
We had a couple multiple roles.
Right, so everyone has a role. It's not like everyone jumps in at any time. It's like you're assigned someone.
Yeah. Usually you just go, I'm getting that guy. I think I can remember one of my guys was some new people coming to buy this theatre that's supposedly haunted, and I voiced one of the new guys that came in. And of course, I made him sound like a Yiddish man. I gave him this voice. Okay. I had to guess prices these days.
I don't know. It's a good job we're only on Kick right now, because they ain't about to ban us anytime soon. Okay, that sounds like an interesting voice acting challenge. If you have people or friends who are in voice acting.
Well, you got to remember as well, this is the same group I do Dungeons and Dragons with. So we already meet up on a week and do silly voices anyway. So it's nothing different. It's just now we have like visual aid to it. So
okay, you have visual aids.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
I got eye herpes.
You went there and spread your visual aids amongst each other.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So that's all you did for Halloween then.
Yeah,
basically.
that was it. Yeah,
fair enough. I like I say, I went to watch the film. We were recording podcasts on Halloween, weren't we? Anyway, and not much happened. Some kids turned up and rung the doorbell a bunch.
You got a lot. We didn't get any kids show up at our house, but then again, they didn't put anything outside, so.
Yeah, I think we must have said last time, I think that's more of a rule where we are, that if you don't decorate, don't go to their house and bother them.
Yeah.
But I don't know as that's the thing in America. I think they just ring every doorbell and try and collect as much candy as possible.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe it feels like it's dying a bit, trick-or-treating in our country, and I wonder if it just is in general.
I think it is, because there's a guy I watch called Meat Canyon who does a lot of just sort of like random talking videos about
I know
like
Meat
different.
Canyon.
Yeah. Do you know him? Personally?
Well, I've seen his animations more.
Do you know him? Is he like your close friend? Like he's my close friend?
I didn't want to brag, but like, I am going to his wedding next month.
He's already married. Okay, all right. He's already married. So
well,
anyway,
fine. Okay, I'm not going to. I sucked him off this one time.
That's fine.
60 times.
Yeah, he said something about it in one of his recent videos where he said that he just sort of feels like the spirit of Halloween is dying. So I think it's a global thing.
I think it needs remarketing to be the adult holiday. Like, make it for adults. As in, you go to a party, you dress slutty, and you fuck a bunch of people. You know, like, that's, like, all part of it, you know?
I guess.
They're like, bring some debauchery, like, embrace the kind of debauchery
the thing
of it,
is,
you know?
though, as much of a debaucherous person as I am, that's the exact opposite. That's the complete opposite of what I want Halloween to be.
Why?
Because Halloween to me is about like the community around you. It's about the neighborhood. It's like about
Fuck the neighborhood.
No, that's literally specifically what Halloween is about. Christmas is about like getting the family together and just spending time with the family. Where like Halloween is to do with like the community and like putting on a big effort and like, hey kids,
We
look
don't need
at
it. No, we don't need it.
We're sharing
why.
candy with the kids.
We'll put that on bonfire night. It's a better place for it.
Giving the kids cream pies. The kids are sucking down cream pies.
We're going to put that vibe onto bonfire night.
Gonna give the kids cream pies.
I'm trying to avoid the cream pie kids talk. I don't like that. Oh fuck! You've got me. You've killed me off. No, we'll put that vibe on bonfire night. That's so much better because everyone gathers round a big fire and shit. That's so much better for a community vibe. Dish out a big thing of pie and peas. Much better, much better. Do that. Have that one be for the kids.
Gross.
Everyone can stop having dogs so that they don't all get disturbed by fireworks. It's my secret ploy to make everyone not need dogs anymore.
Why don't we make bonfire night the horny one?
Ow! That's why. I burned my cock! But can you imagine, you have the debaucherous Halloween, everyone like gets over the hangover and then spends time in the community watching a fire to celebrate that one guy who tried to kill the government one time.
Yeah, that's what.
Why do we celebrate the fact that he failed?
I don't know if we do. I think it sort of like varies person to person.
Because you're meant to burn an effigy of him. That's kind of what you're meant to do. You're meant to have a big fire and you burn Guy Fawkes, who was the guy who was doing it, over it, and then have fireworks to celebrate. That's kind of like the deal. But like, if you look into it, he was like kind of trying to do a good thing. It's like, well, not really. Like, you shouldn't be like blowing people up. That's not a good thing. But if either, like, his side was going to be blown up or the people he was trying to blow up were going to be blown up, if I had to pick one.
What sort of alternate history do you think we'd be living in if Guy Fawkes would have succeeded?
Well, I guess it'd be, like, the opposite of Bonfire Night. So, like, what? Put your head in the freezer night? I don't know.
Do you think...
A big block of ice. Everyone buys a big block of ice shaped like... the government. What does the government look like?
That's fucking stupid.
You have ice creams and like and the shit, you know.
Okay. I was gonna say, do you think it'd be kind of regarded like a 9/11 sort of thing, where it's like it's like a remembrance? I know it's like a remembrance day now, but like if it was like a proper sort of we remember the day that Guy Fawkes was like attack on the.
I don't know, because it's like we don't celebrate or mourn when King Harold was overthrown or whatever, you know. So I don't know as it's close enough to nowadays to be considered like a tragedy that the government was taken over, because, you know, throughout history there's been points where like tyrannical governments have been taken over, and then that's considered celebration. Like almost like the French Revolution, for example, with aristocrats. When people kind of think about who was in the right there, it was the revolutionary people, right?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I gather from the Assassin's Creed game about it, anyway. But I suppose, like, Victory tells the victor writes the book, or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah, that's what they say.
The victor writes the book.
Yeah, the Victor writes that book.
Which book is it?
Victor writes that book.
Victor writes in his book,
Yeah.
and he only cares about who wins.
Vector wrote that book. Oh, yeah!
The one that,
The
yeah,
one
that's
from-
the Minions story.
Yeah, the Minions from... Yeah,
Vector wrote that one.
he wrote that one.
What were we talking about?
Oh, you were talking about when the French aristocrats were talking to the peasants and they went, "Peasants, tonight we steal the moon!"
And Victor will write our story in his important book.
Yeah, well,
that's
great.
we didn't do the French accent there. That might have been funny. Yeah, I don't know.
The moon.
To sum up, Halloween needs to be the horny adult holiday. Guy Fawkes Night. Maybe we should celebrate the government burning instead, but we'll make that family time for some reason. Make that community time
Yeah,
for
sure.
some. You know, that's a good thing to be. You know, burn the government as a community. Great, let's go celebrate. And then Christmas, you know, you can have to listen to your racist uncle chat about some shit. I don't have a racist uncle anymore.
My uncle.
I'm saying anymore because that's assuming the one that died is racist. I don't even think he was,
Okay,
but
fair enough.
I'm not even sure I've ever had a racist uncle. Maybe I'm missing out.
My uncle is very much the other opposite end of that spectrum.
Like a woke fella.
Yeah,
Which uncle?
one of them.
The NPC one?
I'm just gonna say one of them.
Why are you,
I've got
why are
like
you pinching
I've got
your
like
cock?
I've got like a bit of something on my jeans now. I was trying to like fucking.
I thought you were like clawing at
I was
your
just like,
foreskin.
Ow!
It looked like you were just clawing at your
I
foreskin.
got like something on it. Maybe it's dried jism, but I don't think so. I think it's maybe like a drop of super glue that's dripped down or something, but it's stained.
You use jism for super glue anyway, so
Yeah. Still going at it.
I'm a bit disappointed in us so far. Okay, moving on. We'll come back to Halloween because I want to do like a bit of a horror movie scale. This is straight up copying a podcast I listened to called 0 Degrees.
Yeah.
They were trying to do a scale of something that you could still consider just about within the horror genre, but as little scare as possible will be a 0, and then 10 is the pure scary as possible horror.
Okay.
So we'll do one of those in a bit, but we have a tradition on this podcast.
Jake tells me a bunch of names and I don't know a single fucking one of them. That's a tradition.
I go through the I'm a celebrity, get me out of here lineup for the year, and Judd tells me whether he knows them or not. We don't normally do this in person, so I can normally hide it, so you're going to have to try and not look at the screen.
Yeah, I feel like I can still look, because I'm still not going to know who the fuck they are, am I? Like,
Well, it says on this. This is how I always know who they are.
Oh, okay,
It
well.
says on the damn web. I don't know who they are either.
I thought you just knew all this shit.
No. It's just like kind of just don't look, and then wait a minute.
I'll look at Glep.
Wait, what?
What's
Is
going
this-
on?
Oh, I thought Ant and Dec weren't presenting it for a second then, and then I was gonna boycott the whole thing.
Oh, my buttons are coming undone and showing my big grotesque belly.
Right, I've got the lineup here, Judd.
Okay.
Let's see if we know these people. First up is Colleen Rooney.
Oh, so she's married to Mr. Wayne Rooney, I believe. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
I believe.
All right. Okay.
I believe so.
Okay. All right.
Occupation wag. You can't just say that, Daily Mail. Well, actually, that's wife and girlfriend. It's like a footballer's wife.
That
type of
sounds
thing,
like a
isn't it?
slur.
I know exactly.
Wag,
kind
you
of like
fucking wag.
he's creeping to what. It's
Yeah.
almost like calling someone. Well, it's not the same as calling someone a Karen, but you know, same genre of insult.
You wag.
Right. Okay. Moira Higgins. I'm sure I've heard of her. Oh, I do know what she's.
I
from.
haven't got a clue.
I believe she was. Yes, she was on Love Island.
Okay.
I've not seen her on it, but I just remember because I remember seeing a story that Tommy Fury were gonna be on it, but he had to turn it down for a more lucrative offer, and then people were speculating, "Ooh, that's KSI rematch type of thing."
Ooh,
So
yeah,
that's how I heard
yeah.
she was replacing
Yeah.
him, and kind of.
Yeah.
So okay, you didn't have a clue
I'm
Moira
in the
was
thick
then.
of it. Everybody knows. They
Banger.
know me where
Absolute
it
banger.
snows. I slid in and they froze.
Keep going.
To
the one.
the throws. I'm in my prime.
No. Do the.
Oh, from the screen to the ring, from the crown to the pen
Didn't
to
even
the
fucking
kick.
get it right.
Yeah.
Anyway, who is Oti Mabuse? I think that's how you say that.
Oti my boos.
Mabuse.
I hardly know my boos. I don't know. I've no idea.
I've not a clue. No clue that is.
She's a professional dancer.
She's been on Strictly twice. I guess she must be she must be a dancer on Strictly. Then I was like, how'd you go on twice? Like, I thought it were just celebrities dancing, but they have like professional dancers. They do it with.
Oh yeah.
Danny Jones.
I feel like I've heard this guy's name before, but I couldn't tell you. What
I'll give you a clue. Okay. I absolutely know who this is.
Oh, is he like in one of your boy bands? One of your little...
Oh, don't put it like that. Come on.
Is he like from?
Don't put it like that.
Is he from Busted or McFly?
Don't put it like that. Yeah, he's from McFly.
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Okay.
Interestingly, someone from Busted, Matt Willis is his last name. Willis. I just realised that. And Dougie Pointer.
What?
Pointer.
That's his name, Dougie Pointer.
Pointer.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Was from McFly. So I think they both won. I don't know.
Right.
Can't remember. But so apparently he's going to be on it.
Danny Jones.
I mean, he's one of my. He might be my favourite actually from them. I don't know. They're all pretty cool. Barry McGowan. Oh yeah, I know who he is.
I have no idea. I don't know
who he is.
Don't know him.
He is a former boxer.
Oh.
Yeah, Barry McGowan. I actually know, like, a surprise. This is a good lineup so far for me. I know, like, another example, GK Barry. I know who that is as well.
I don't know who that is.
She's it's quite interesting. She's a very, I'm going to say very low level influencer. She has a podcast, I think, is one of her main things. It says TikTok star, so maybe she was on TikTok first and then podcast. It sounds like it by the looks of that. She's not massive relatively, you know, like she's like Deji Swampser, for example, you know, something like that.
Okay.
As in, I know her through Bambino Becky, who you don't know at all, who became famous through True Geordie, who kind of became famous through KSI.
And he liked,
so that's
liked people taking a dump on his chest. True Geordie.
Yeah. Well, not people.
A person? Did he have a specific dumper that he liked?
No, well, maybe actually. I think it's only women and sexy ones.
I thought he was. I thought he was into men doing it as well. I thought he had like a. Didn't he have
pretty sure he's not.
Didn't he have a big old floppy dildo that he liked to shove up his bum?
That don't mean he likes men though. That means he likes women shoving a cock-shaped object in his rectum.
If it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's True Geordie getting a big turd.
Here's the thing, though. It's shaped like a cock.
Okay.
It doesn't hump like a cock. And it might come similar to a cock, but not in the same way. So it's not a duck. Is all we know from that. At least we know it's not a duck.
I'm glad it's not a duck. Okay, well, where were we? Dean McCulloch. I don't know.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to be distracted. What's Jane Moore so upset about? She's the next one. She looks so sad.
She probably heard that she was going on this fucking show.
Who's Dean McCulloch?
I don't know. I don't know who any of these people are.
I don't know who he is.
I don't know who Jane Moore is either.
He's a Radio 1 DJ. Oh, so he'll be like chatting for fucking forever then. I typically I'm not a fan of the radio DJs on these things. Jane Moore, who's she?
She's a journalist because I can see her occupation.
Okay.
I never would have known what she did.
Yeah, I don't know. Anymore. Melvin O'Doom. Oh.
I wish I know who Melvin O'Doom was.
That rings a bell.
Dr. O'Doom.
I think he's just some sort of presenter, isn't he?
He's a Dr. O'Doom.
presenter.
Is what he is.
I nearly puked. DJ and TV presenter. I obviously hate DJs and TV presenters. They make me puke. He does not look 44 though. Look at this guy. He has aged very well. Look at that guy. Look at his beard, and he's not got a single wrinkle on his face. He's 44.
I can't.
How's he done that?
You'll get angry at
Teeth are better than mine.
You'll get angry at me if I was going to say what I was going to say then. But even though I genuinely meant
What was I muted the microphone for that.
That's also only a compliment as well. How can that ever be anything else but a
Hey, look,
compliment?
it's just a famous
I
thing
want his
with-
flesh. Give me his flesh.
Well, that's a different problematic thing. Might have to investigate your house for serial killers now.
That's
Oh,
fine.
fuck!
For serial
Oh, no, Trump reveals the Kamala Harris celebrity endorsement that hurts the most! Oh, why has it gone on that?
love her.
I love her.
I love
it's
her.
Jane Moore. I'm so upset.
We love Jane Moore here.
That's the best I've ever done, Trump. I'm not good at it.
That was
But it
good,
was
yeah.
actually not bad.
I did like that. I feel like I get too sleepy with his. I get too sleepy.
But it is pretty sleepy sounding.
I woke up earlier. 20 minutes ago, I woke up from my nap. They said Trump.
And then his ear gets shot. Pew!
You go, oh my God, not again.
Maybe, do you know Reverend Richard Coles?
No, I don't know him.
Just not even slightly.
No, not even a little bit.
Well, he's a radio presenter.
Another
Why is he
one.
Reverend as well?
Another one.
Oh, he's on Strictly, okay. There's a lot here. Alan Halsall.
Right, I feel like I recognise his face from somewhere. I feel like he's an actor.
You absolutely would recognise his
Is he
face.
from like Hollyoaks or like Coronation Street? Or
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, Coronation Street.
Yeah,
okay,
and I'm
yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
he was like young when we would have first seen him. And you know, like I feel like those soaps used to be massive when we were kids. They used to be a big deal. Like everyone watched them on TV all the time. As in, I'd accidentally end up watching not every episode, but like quite a lot of episodes because they happened to be on TV while my parents were watching TV or something.
Yeah.
Also, your mum was in one of them.
You were.
So,
I can't remember which one she wore in.
EastEnders.
Yeah.
No.
Wore it?
No, the other one. What's the one that's in Yorkshire?
Coronation Street?
No, that's
in
London.
Oh,
Emmerdale.
Yeah, that's
There you
it.
go. I knew it was
Yeah, she were in Emmerdale, and I know she was in Casualty for a little bit, for a
Oh, I
tiny little
didn't
bit.
even know that. I don't associate Casualty as the same thing. I think hospital dramas are slightly different for some reason.
Yeah, okay.
They're probably not, though.
She was the voice of Tetley Tina from the Tetley Tea gang.
we don't need to carry on. Any more of your family been in soaps? Because I suppose your uncle ever. He's the big famous.
So
actor.
Darren, technically, I know he's not part of my
yeah,
family
yeah.
anymore, but he was in a soap. He was in
Fuck
Hollyoaks.
that guy. We don't need to talk about him. Anyway, Talisa next. You know Talisa.
No.
What if I do this, though, Judd? What if I get
What do
a
you
phallic-shaped object and start going? It's all on my face.
I can't ask you.
I should stop doing that.
I can't ask you the thing that I wanted to ask you just then because we're streaming right now. But no, I don't know. I don't know who that is. I almost said what it was when you put the fucking thing back on.
Okay, say what it was, but look away from the screen when you do it. Can't hear any of that.
I know.
That's good. It's good. I'm glad I can mute the microphone. No, do you not?
No, I don't
Talisa?
know. I don't know.
How about this? This will help you. Na na na.
Is that a singer then? Is that? Did she do a song?
No, she was in N-Dubs, Judd. N-Dubs.
Oh, was she?
Do you not remember N-Dubs?
No, I feel
And
like-
then she had a really famous sex tape get leaked where she would just like. She would like
That's what
slapping a
that was.
cock on her face
That's
the
what that
whole
was.
time. And I honestly, I didn't even see the sex. I can like obviously it sounds like I'm bullshit, but I actually missed out on that. We could probably watch it now if you want.
No, I'm good.
It
I'm
sounded. I think
I'm
the
not
reason why I've
interested.
never
She's-
ended up seeing it is it sounds shit.
She's done the fucking Starlight thing to herself. So
I think that's probably more recent, if anything,
Yeah.
but I don't really know. Anymore, that sounds
That's
like
it.
that's it. That might include the late arrivals, because that seems like quite a lot of people. How many is that? We've got.
I thought that seemed like not
2,
a whole
4,
lot.
6,
I
8,
thought.
10, 12.
Okay, 12. All right.
So I don't know. So how many are we going for? So you knew Colleen Rooney. We'll give you that. That's one. We'll give you Danny Jones. do
No,
you
don't
think?
give me Danny Jones.
Okay, so
like
one.
I knew
So
that.
one then.
I knew that, and I knew him because I saw his face. But if you would have just told me his name, I never would have got
So are you
that.
counting him?
If you're gonna count like from face recognition as well, then yeah. But if it was just name, then
Okay,
no.
we'll give you 1.5.
Okay, all right,
for
that's
this
fine.
year,
That's fine.
Which is probably an average score.
I think that's a personal best. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. So
I actually think I might have a personal best. I mean, I knew Colleen Rooney, Maura Higgins. I didn't know Mabuse, or how I still don't know how to say her name. Danny Jones. I knew Barry McGowan. Is that 4? What am I doing? Yeah, 4. I knew GK Barry. I don't know Dean or Jane. Melvin O'Doom, I'm giving myself him. Didn't know the Reverend. I'm going to take Alan and Talisa. So that's what, 8 out of 12? That's a pretty fucking good lineup.
Pretty good.
This year.
That's pretty good.
It's rare that anyone knows that many people on it. Do you know who I reckon would know all of them? Our Auntie Kathy.
Yeah.
Literally, I'm not joking. Any time, even when we were younger and went to her house a bit more often, which is like we see her once every about 5 years now. Every time we've been to her house, ITV2's been on TV. Not a single moment. Otherwise, and we've had to stay there all day, so like once or twice.
Yeah.
Constant ITV2, no change of channel, from like waking up till midnight.
That's all you need is ITV2.
I swear that's it. She's just an ITV2 fanatic. Okay, so this horror movie scale then, Judd. I think what's kind of the way I would think about it and try and get it done well would be thinking of like the top and bottom ends of the scale to kind of creep inwards from.
So I'm thinking that the bottom end for me, like something that could be considered sort of horror, but that has like essentially no scares in it, is something like. I don't think this is very bottom of the scale, but this is sort of narrowing it down. Sort of like Sweeney Todd, where it's
that's not bottom of the scale. That's
what would you say? That's like. Would you say
we're
that's
talking
like
bottom of the scale? Somewhere maybe even a 3.
Yeah.
With bottom of the scale, like the suggestions on the podcast I listened to were like Simpsons, Treehouse of Horror, perhaps even Shaun of the Dead. You know.
I'd say Shaun of the Dead in it has more horror, like scares in it than Sweeney Todd. Because yes, Sweeney Todd has like
Sweeney Todd is definitely more scary than Shaun of the Dead.
I don't know if it's scary.
It's not. That's the point. It'd be very low on the scale still, but even so. So at the bottom, I think Shaun of the Dead is a really good bottom of it.
It's the regular way of spelling Shaun.
Oh, it's not seen.
No.
Oh, okay. Sean. Let me get a. So we've got a scale going on here on screen if you're watching the video version. So Scene of the Dead, I think, is a number 1. Do you think it'd be easiest to come up with this by thinking of the scariest film as well then?
I feel like I have more difficulty trying to narrow down what I think is like the scariest film.
Well, my thinking would be stuff that we've literally told each other to just not even watch ever. So I'm thinking like Human Centipede 2. Is it a Serbian film? Is that one?
Yeah.
They're literally utterly horrific to the point where it's like, no, actually don't watch that. You don't want to have seen that.
It's a different thing though, isn't it? Because it's sort of like Serbian film. I was never scared once during Serbian film.
You were horrified.
I was more mortified than I was horrified. So it's like
Well, I think it sounds like Human Centipede 2's perfect for that then.
Why was that? You were horrified? Were you scared? Were you scared?
It's like I think you've got to encompass how scared you were and how horrified you were are equally important. How disturbed you were, how that's all very important. And yeah, I've never been more disturbed and just like not want to see those visuals again from a movie. And specifically number 2, very specifically number 2. It's so weird. Centipede I've written. It's so weird because the first one is quite a good film actually. It's like it's scary, it's creepy. The concept's like gross and quite horrifying, but it's like pulled off in a way that allows you to still appreciate it as a film. Human Centipede 2 is not like that. It's just horrible to experience. It's not particularly a good film. There's not really much story to it. and it's just horrible to experience. Number 3 is more of a comedy. It's ridiculous. As in, the famous porn star from times gone by, Brie Olson, is one of the stars of it. And obviously her tits get out in it.
Nice.
At some point, I can't remember how it happened. I've seen that film like once. But it's weird as well, because for some reason in the third one, they use some of the cast from the first one, but playing different characters. So in the first one, like, there's a doctor pulling off like a mad doctor doing this experiment, and he's playing like a prison warden of this entire prison that gets human centipeded.
Yeah.
And at that, like, in the first one, it's just 3 people. In the second one, it's more than 3 people. I'm not going to say anymore. In the third one, it's like an entire jail, and it's just like, it looks ridiculous and silly at that point. And yeah, so Human Centipede 2, I'm going to put at the 10. I also think I've got a theory for number 9, which would be, because, like, the most horrifying, scariest film is actually not going to be a good film, is it? It's not going to be something that's enjoyable to watch. So I think number 9 would be the best horror film. So something, because obviously it's going to be really scary as a horror film, but it's still a good film. What do you think about that?
See, for me as well, I feel like you're missing out as well on these sort of like docu horrors, sort of like what the fuck were it called? It was like Cannibal Holocaust.
Right.
Where it's like they use like actual corpses and stuff in it, and you know there was rumors of like mistreatment of like local Aborigine tribes and stuff during the making of the film, and you know shit like that, like actual horrors that went on during the making of the film as well.
Okay, so here's why I think you need to kind
of those?
No, I'm not. You're driving. Maybe 2 beers. Here's why I think you kind of. We might want to avoid like the story of how the film was made, because then we could quite possibly whack Tideland at the top, because there was on-screen like adults kissing actual children in it. So then it's like, but the film actually isn't scary itself, is it? So that's why I think maybe avoid that.
Cannibal Holocaust is a scary movie though.
But you have to forget about all the story behind it.
Yeah. Okay.
So forgetting about all the story behind that, my put forward for number 9 would be Hereditary. Because I think that's the best horror film, probably. We can verify this with our statistics. So if we... And I'm not going to look at the overall best, I'm going to look at our favourite horror film. Because the overall scores are not as accurate as ours. We have better opinions. So if I scroll down here, what we got... It's going to be a while before we hit something that's horror.
Do you not have like a genre thing, and then can you not set that to horror?
I do. Yeah, I will. I'll do that. There's kind of a bit of a reason why not to, but in this case, it's probably fine. Yeah. So Hereditary is the top by quite a notable amount. Like, especially for one that we've both watched. The next up would be It. I actually think you could probably go Hereditary as number 9. And then It as maybe 7 or 8.
See, I'd put It as like a 6.
On the overall scale. So, like, it's still scary, and it's like an 18 and stuff. Whereas there's horror stuff that's like a 15. There's kids horror things. So, do you remember that movie? It's like The Clock in the Wall or something that has Jack Black in.
Yeah, but then, so then Shaun of the Dead shouldn't be at 1, like a fucking, like you say, a house with a clock in its cock or whatever it's called.
That's scarier than Shaun of the Dead.
A house with a clock in its cock is scarier than Shaun of the Dead. A house with a
clock in Jack Black is scarier than Shaun of the Dead.
Okay,
yeah, because it's like Shaun of the Dead. It's not like jump scares or anything. It's just kind of like there's zombies and stuff, and it's the comedy massively masks how scary it is. Whereas, so I would say. Jack Black's cocking his mum or whatever.
Cocking his mum.
He's the number 2, absolutely.
Okay. Jack Black's cocking his
House of Clocks and Clocks. It goes there. So we're narrowing in. Right. We're doing the top and bottom ends. Okay. This is good.
Okay. So, free now. I'm thinking about movies that aren't horrors. But have horrific elements that have horrific elements in them.
I would suggest something around like Alien.
You know,
Something
I
similar
was
to that.
actually going to say Matrix.
No.
Yeah, no, because
Matrix is not scary at all.
well, no, because I feel like that deals a lot with like sort of like cosmic horror and like sort of like your identity and your life and stuff, and it's like the idea of something greater than you always having control over your life.
It's below
It's-
middle, though.
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm saying that, but I'm feeling like a Matrix could maybe even go to 2, and House of Clocks and Clocks could go
No,
to
because I understand what you mean. I would probably put
Matrix 3.
Matrix is going to be at 3 for now. I'm putting a question mark next to it. I'm a bit weird. I'm weirded out on it. It doesn't even feel like horror enough for me. But
Okay, now 4.
or 8. Maybe 8's better.
What?
Because like, what's a bit less scary than the? I mean, we could literally put what it? Like, surely it fits on here
Just
somewhere.
for me, I wasn't. I got a bit, at some points, but like, I wasn't really scared a lot during it. I was
Does
like,
that constant unsettling thing?
yeah. Again, me personally, I'd put it at maybe like a 6 or a 7 if I was going to put it on.
Let's
yeah.
put it at 7 then for now. We
Okay.
can move things around. I think that's okay.
Now 4 though, 4 for me is you're saying that you're making a horror movie. You say, "Hey studio, I'm making a horror movie here," but you're actually making an action movie.
Yeah,
and now,
or like a thriller.
Now, what I want to draw my attention to in movies like that is like Resident Evil. That's like a 4. It's like
I like
these
that.
these are horror movies, but they're not. That you've got Nemesis walking up with a big minigun and then a black dude with 2
Yeah, there's
gold-plated
enough level of
eagles going,
silly.
"Fuck you, motherfucker!"
There's that Human Centipede 3 to it.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So-
I would also bump the next middle ground to be something that's like you could call a thriller or a horror, and I'm thinking Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Because it's not mega scary, is it, in a lot of ways?
Yeah.
Quite a bit at the end, perhaps, but... okay. And I also I would maybe put in the same place there, maybe a tad higher, 7. You know, the like
Yeah,
kind of thriller thing.
yeah.
I'd leave that as the same sort of thing as Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
So perhaps we've got something. So I would probably put something on the 6th spot as that kind of area of horror films that is not an 18, but it's still a horror film.
Okay, all right. See, I was okay. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Because Silence of the Lambs, you could say is a thriller. We're now at the point where it's like it should definitely be a horror, but maybe it's one of those that's a 15, so tone some elements back. One of my favourites of that is called The Autopsy of Jane Doe, but we can have a quick peek at the spreadsheet. Oh, Don't Breathe. That's such a good film.
That freaked me the fuck out. That movie.
That's probably scarier than Autopsy of Jane Doe. Is that scarier than it? Quite possibly, actually.
I'd argue maybe, but
Because it's quite real, isn't it?
yeah.
Let's put that on 8, then.
I don't know about 8.
I don't know.
think
It's
like-
pretty fucking scary because
Yeah.
this is the thing for me. I obviously this is going to be subjective. I'm way more gotten by things that are entirely possible.
Yeah, no, I feel like I am, but
Because like
don't-
the thing that scares me the most is basically just mentally ill people.
yeah.
You know, people who you can't predict because their brains are not right.
Yeah.
That's that is actually provably real, and that it scares me. Whereas aliens, they're real, but like they're gonna be here, and then like ghosts, they're not real.
I was just gonna say though, aliens freak me the fuck out, and I forgot what the movie was called for a long time, but I've remembered recently. It's called The Fourth Kind. It's not Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. It's called.
But that would be Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it?
oh yeah, whatever it is. It's called, or it might just be called The Third Kind. It's either called The Third Kind or The Fourth Kind. And basically, what it is it's saying that it's like a movie documentary. Like everything you're seeing is like.
So the
played
Blair
out.
Witch Project.
Yeah,
style.
yeah, but like it actually really did happen, and a lot of the times during the movie, they show like the actors portraying this in the movie alongside supposedly like real footage, and it freaked me the fuck out the first time I watched it. And it is meant to be a horror,
Yeah.
but it's at the same time it's like it's not traditional horror.
That sounds like it. I can get behind the bad feel,
Yeah.
the creepy feelings of that. I think we should put stuff on this that we've both seen, or at least know what it's going to be like. I just can't talk. I can't understand how scary that actually is.
Yeah.
I know we've got House of Cocks and Clocks, but I'm pretty sure you understand what that's like.
No. Yeah, I did watch a fair bit of House of Cocks and Clocks. To be fair, yeah, I think my nan and granddad had it on when Dalton was over one day, and like I watched a good bit of it.
So just going down our list, Hellraiser is on there. Do you think that fits in between Silence of the Lambs and it?
I was not. Again, this is me. I was not scared of Hellraiser at all. I was fascinated by Hellraiser. Like I loved the aesthetics and the ideas in Hellraiser. More than I was like, oh god, I'm scared by Mr. Pinhead. He's spooky. So
yeah, and well, that kind of I don't know. Maybe is that less scary than Silence of the Lambs then? Yeah, Silence of the Lambs is a serial killer type of thing, isn't it? That could happen.
Yeah, I know, but I'd say I was more freaked out watching Silence of the Lambs again because this is more like this could really happen.
So do you think Silence of the Lambs at 6 and then Hellraiser at 5 would be a decent list?
I don't know.
I feel a bit weird not having something that's classic on there.
So then, really, I feel like, for me personally, I'd want to say more like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Or like even the original Halloween. But those are low to me. Those are quite low.
I'm not.
Like Silence of the Lambs is absolutely scarier than those.
Yeah, I'm asking. I'd ask for Nightmare on Elm Street to either be put at 6 or 5.
The weird thing with this is, I'm almost tempted to just not have Shaun of the Dead at all.
Yeah, I know.
It's so close to not even being horror in any way.
Yeah. No, but I feel like that's why it does belong at 1, but I feel like there's also, because how it's sort of going is here is we number 1, we just have goofy R movie with zombies in. Then this is a kid's film but there are horror elements in it. Then this is a film which isn't meant to be a horror film, but it has ideas. That has horror elements in it. Then this is supposed to be a horror movie, but it's actually an action movie. Then this is a thriller that's becoming horror. Now here, I feel like it should be because then here we go on to like gory horror movie.
Pure horror, but maybe not the scariest horror ever, but it's pretty firmly.
I think here belongs like Saw. Where it's like more gore fest than it is actual horror.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So
I think that's where we would find some weird subjectivity because Jasmine would find Saw much worse than it because of what she's scared of. You know, the people who have got a problem with gore, they're going to find Saw one of the scariest.
I'd say, because also, no, you know what, I'd say this probably goes higher, actually, because it goes more into the idea of, like, things that could actually happen and are scary if you think of them that way, but Hostel. You watched Hostel?
Well, I've heard of it.
You seen Hostel? You heard about this? You seen this? It was made by...
No. What needs to go here, Judd, is that I said, the 15, the non-18 horror films. Absolutely. My favourite is The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Okay. I would put that there if it were me.
I don't know it.
Maybe A Quiet Place is good for that then.
I don't know it.
A Quiet Place. There's Orphan. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember Orphan. That was good.
That could go there. Because there's not a lot of, like, gore or much scares to that, but it is definitely a horror. And is Orphan an 18? Oh, there's a 2022 remake. Yeah, it's a 15. So I think that fits pretty good in there.
Orphan could go there.
Is Orphan scarier than Silence of the Lambs? Ooh. That's hard. Silence of the Lambs is a bit real, innit?
Yeah. I don't want. You know what? I'd almost say delete Silence of the Lambs. I'd put Orphan at 5, and then I'd put. There needs to be a thriller horror boundary between this action and the horror thing. So I'd say, but I was wondering if Seven is a better example. I was wondering if but they're kind of on par, aren't they? Silence of the Lambs and Seven.
Yeah, they're the same sort of thing. I just think Orphan is one of those, but it's just not quite scary enough.
Yeah.
Like maybe The Conjuring. Have you seen The Conjuring?
I was wondering if maybe we should put like a sort of poltergeist sort of thing here, because I was thinking maybe you could even put like Paranormal Activity, like the first one.
You've not seen The Conjuring?
I don't know. I think I might have seen The Conjuring. Is this the one where the guy is looking at old photos? Is it that one?
Well, it's almost started this horror universe, with like Annabelle and that.
No, I don't think I have.
I think it's got that nun woman. It might have that in it. You have seen what's it called? Insidious.
I have seen Insidious.
Well, you've not rated it. You should rate it.
Actually. Oh. Which one's Insidious?
That's the one with like the red guy.
Oh no, I haven't seen Insidious. No, I haven't seen that one. I know who you're talking about. Yeah. No, I haven't seen that one.
So nice. I need to rip a big fart there. Yeah. The Blair Witch Project could go there. I found that boring.
You know what? Actually, I'd put here at 6. Cloverfield.
Cloverfield, that's still quite a thriller.
But it's more horror. I'd say Cloverfield freaked me out more than like Silence of the Lambs. This scared me more than Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, this is not what I thought it was.
Have you seen this movie? Have you not seen this movie?
I've seen the reboot.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not a reboot. It's a continuation. In that universe, kind of. Yeah, reboot. Fucking reboot. Yeah, reboot.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
I know.
That's a fucking good movie.
Yeah, you've seen the one with James P. Sullivan in it. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't speak on it, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. That's like Cloverfield would be like a 6 for me there.
Maybe The Exorcist. What about The Exorcist?
Maybe The Exorcist.
That's classic. It's not scary for that long, but it's got some poltergeist stuff going on.
She says, "Your mother sucks cocks in hell. You know that."
Yeah. I'd maybe put that there.
And she gets the cross and she starts stabbing it into her pussy and she goes, "Let Jesus fuck you! Let Jesus fuck you!"
Some people could find that funny. I think that's.
I found it a little bit funny. I'm gonna be honest.
What do you think? I feel a bit bad because it's an 18. It's not a 6. It's not like a 15. So I'm not certain on that either. Oh man, I don't know.
For me, 6 goes like Cloverfield.
I don't know what that's like. I know. I've never seen it, so. Well, for me, it goes The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Well, there you go.
You've never seen it.
Yeah, there you go then.
Okay.
Cloverfield / Autopsy of Jane Cloverfield Doe. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we go right.
1 sec, because is Cloverfield an 18 or not?
I'm gonna say.
So, no, it's a 15. So,
is it?
Yeah,
okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. We've got our list.
Yeah. So we start off with Shaun of the Dead, which is like.
It's almost not. You could say that that's not even a horror.
Yeah, it's not even really a horror. It's a comedy with like horror tropes.
It's just a comedy with zombies involved.
Yeah. House of Cocks and Clocks.
The actual title is
like a house,
The House with a Clock in its Wall or something. Let me just check that. The House with a Clock in its walls.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's called.
I went to see that at the cinema on my own, and I don't know how I ended up in that scenario.
But yeah, because that's like a kids' movie that like has horror elements in it.
I would call it a kids' horror.
Yeah,
because it's like there's jump scares.
Yeah.
There's like light jump scares.
Yeah,
that like when I wasn't scared at all, like as an adult, but I came out of it thinking, wow, that really was essentially horror, but for children. It was light enough to be scary for kids, but not like it's going to disturb them in any way.
There was another movie in that sort of vein, but it had... I'd say it was that, but even worse. And I think it had Samuel L. Jackson in it. And he was some sort of weird monster creature that liked to take the eyeballs from children and eat them. And a bunch of other, like, monsters like him like to take...
That sounds awful!
Can you type in Samuel L. Jackson eats children's eyeballs, I guess?
Eating burgers.
Eats eyeballs. Fucking just put eyeballs. What movie is that? Home for Peculiar Children. Yeah, this.
Really?
This is
more
like
of a fantasy thing.
No, but like if you saw it, you'd be like, no, you're right. That goes with House of Cocks and Clocks. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So then Matrix is like, this isn't a horror movie, but like these are horrific subjects if you think about it.
Yeah.
like fucking poor fucking. Oh my god, I forgot his name. Keanu Reeves, poor fucking Keanu Reeves waking up in the fucking womb pod with a thing strapped to his.
Yeah.
It's like, that's horrific. And then the fucking robots coming down to look at him like, what the fuck? What's going on here?
I feel weird about that one still, but you're right.
Yeah.
It's
Then Resident Evil again.
yeah, that's a good. I like that there.
We've got zombies again, and we are trying to be horror a bit here. Like, we have jump scares in there, and we have scary
But
stuff.
it does feel a bit like Fast and Furious took a different turn.
Yeah. But it's also comparable to Fast and the Furious, where it's like you have double plated golden Desert Eagle, and shit like that. Yeah, and then Silence of the Lambs, where it's like this is a thriller, but there's again horrific elements in it, and there's enough suspense in there to make it like a scary thing. Like, you can watch that and be scared, instead of just like.
Whoops.
I don't know. I suppose like True Detective, you can watch and be scared, but that again is more thriller. And Silence of the Lambs, I'd say, is probably it's like that, but it has more horror elements in it.
Sorry, I'm just futzing about real quick.
fine.
There you go.
Jane Cloverfield Doe. So this is like more horror. This is like a horror movie now, and we have more horror film themes in there. We're focusing on like scares now, but
It's lighter. You'll not see as much blood and actual physical. Like, you'll not see like knives going into people so much, or anything like that. Well, actually, on the Autopsy of Jane Doe, you do, because it's set in a morgue. But like,
I get what you mean. Yeah, no, Cloverfield is more like sort of being chased by big monster sort of thing. It's more like Godzilla movie.
You
but
should
scary.
watch that movie, by the way, if you wanted a horror film to watch. It's pretty good.
Well, you should watch
Especially to watch with like nanans and things, where you don't want to watch,
Cloverfield.
like a film like Seven, where someone like fucks someone using a knife strap on. You don't want to watch that with your nana.
Does that happen in Seven?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to watch that with a grandparent, do you?
Does that
But
happen in
Autopsy of Jane Doe,
Yeah.
That's I would say 6 is your like limit. Like, that's the grandparent limit.
Well, you say that, but then I have also watched it with my nan, so
Oh.
there you go. There you go.
Oh no, actually, yeah, maybe 7. Maybe 7's the grandparent limit. Yeah, maybe 8. Well,
I wouldn't want to watch.
don't know.
I wouldn't want to watch Don't Breathe with my nana.
Oh no, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7's the grandparent
Yeah.
limit. We've worked that one out. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, 7 is your sort of like we're going traditional now.
It's
traditional.
almost pretty much that's horror films. Like that's where horror films sit most of the time. Maybe 8, depending. But you're starting to fit your classic horror that does a decent job, and yeah.
So 9 then. What are we saying about Hereditary? Because here we're saying that like, are we saying that this is scarier, or are we saying that this is gorier?
So it's just because it's the best horror film, it inherently is gonna be really scary. That's part of horror films, and I honestly do think that it's one of the horror films that I'm more consistently scared the whole time I'm watching it. Like, the entire time you're just looking at it like, that still seems weird. It's like, there's moments then past that where it's like, no, God! But like, there's never a moment where there's no chilling. There's no chill moments in that. Even in like Don't Breathe, or It especially, when you get down to like levels of It, there is some complete down moments, whereas Hereditary still manages to take you up and down, which a horror film needs to do, but there's a sub-buzz of anxiety going on, which is incredible to pull off both, which is why I think there's loads of scare in there.
I think Smile did that as well. Did you
I
ever
need to
watch?
watch
Did you ever watch
Smile.
Smile's really
We're gonna
fucking good.
We were gonna watch it, but Jasmine can't fucking handle horror films.
Jasmine can't watch Smile.
We tried to watch Autopsy of Jane Doe on Halloween. Did I tell you what happened?
No.
Once she'd left, we tried to watch that because I wanted to watch Smile, because I knew the new one was coming out. It looks pretty cool. The ones I wanted to watch was Smile or Terrifier. Mm-hmm. Both awful options to watch.
You cannot.
I've not seen either of them, but from what I understand.
Yeah.
So I wanted to watch one of those because I know the sequels seem pretty good as well, and it might be fun to watch as a Halloween series or something. she was like, no.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was like, well, we'll pick like a scary one that's like not got much gore in one of these 15s.
Yeah.
And we ended up on Autopsy of Jane Doe. The first like jump scare, which was just a woman coming round a corner. It was nothing. She went,
No, you did tell me.
we had to turn it off.
Oh god.
We had to turn it off, and we had to watch Addams Family instead.
You did tell me.
That's
For me, Smile goes with Hereditary.
that'll be interesting to watch. That I predict Smile will end up as the same level as It for me. I think I would put that.
I'd put it at Hereditary levels.
That's good to know, though. I mean, maybe I will as well then.
Yeah.
And then 10 is just like literally.
10 at this point, it's like, right now we're not even trying to be horrific. Now we're just trying to be awful. Like,
It's so horrific that just the experience isn't even good.
Yeah.
It's not even good.
Yeah.
As in, like, investigate the people who made that film.
Yeah.
Like, that's awful to decide to make something that looks like that.
Yeah, I know.
It makes me feel sad when I think about Human Centipede 2. It honestly, it affects me.
Let me tell you, there's a scene or two in a Serbian film.
I'm sure there is. Like, exactly. That's why I've not watched it.
Let me tell you.
Literally, I think there's two films on the spreadsheet that in the notes say, "Don't watch this."
Yeah.
You'll see. I think there's only two. Don't. Don't Breathe has come up, but yeah, don't watch this movie and don't watch this. So don't watch this movie, a Serbian film, and Human Centipede 2. Yeah. What did you rate a Serbian film then? 54.
Yeah,
that's an awfully high rating for a film that you say never to experience.
Because for what it is trying to do, the reason why it is that horrific is for a point. Like, it wants you to have these horrible feelings, but. And you know, it delivers on that, but at the same time, I don't want to have those horrible. I don't
think that matters. Surely, if that's as horrible as Human Centipede 2 is, I don't think it matters why. It's just horrible to be in that moment of watching that film.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can just picture the fucking dude's little fat face. I hate it. Honestly, if I were going to have nightmares about anything, it'd be that. It's awful. So there you go. That's our list. I'd like to know. Oh, I hope I've not forgotten them. I'd like to know where you think a couple films fit into this, like Alien, for example, because that was seen as a horror film.
I think Alien goes. It honestly could go here next to it, especially for the time. I feel like it could.
Fuck the time. I don't care. It don't matter.
I feel like it could go here. Maybe here, maybe at Jane Cloverfield.
Yeah, I think it tops out at a 7. There's no way it goes past a 7 or past 8. It could be on as low as Silence of the Lambs as well, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like it beats out Silence of the Lambs. I think it's at 6.
So here's a weird one. What about Coraline? Because that's a kid's film, technically, but it's certainly scarier than Cocks and Clocks.
Yeah, no, but I feel like it goes with House of Cocks and Clocks, but like...
No.
It goes with House of Cocks and Clocks, but it's closer to Matrix. I'd say that Matrix is scarier than Coraline.
I think, personally, I was more scared of Coraline than Resident Evil. I think it goes with Silence of the Lambs. Maybe just below Silence of the Lambs. But...
I don't, because again, Coraline's another one of these for me where it's like I'm more fascinated in it than I am horrified.
Maybe I am forgetting that I didn't even try and hit the bin then. Maybe I'm forgetting kind of some of the other non-horror elements of it, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be a number 4 in for me, that. Because Resident Evil, again, like, yeah, there's a load of zombies in it, but like, I think it's weird because there's a lot more kind of typical horror characters and stuff in Resident Evil, but they're handled in an action way. Whereas there's less kind of horrific kind of characters and stuff in Coraline, but they are really scary. Like, they're really horrific. Even the whole concept is pretty disturbing. So I think Coraline would be like a 4.5 type of thing. What else do you think could slot into there? What other things have we got that we've both seen? Out of the horror films we've both seen, Hereditary's already at a 9. It is a 7. Don't Breathe is at an 8. Hellraiser, where we're putting Hellraiser? 4.5 as well.
Hellraiser goes. I think it goes for me at like a 5.5.
Yeah. I think I can go with that.
Maybe 6.5.
A Quiet Place. I think that's a 6,
yeah.
firm 6 type of deal. Nightmare on Elm Street, I think is
6 or
5. I think.
Okay.
Well, actually, the concept's kind of scary. I think it's just a bit too goofy.
I think it has some good. The original one has some good scares in it.
Yeah, I think I'm forgetting that the sequels aren't tied to the original.
No, they are. So. They are tied to the original.
But if you're just thinking about the first film, that's a lot more scary than like you include all the goofy shit.
When we get to Dream Warriors, it's getting a little bit fucking silly.
Yeah, maybe we put Silence of the Lambs. That'd be like a 6 on this list. Krampus.
Krampus. I think that goes at like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, something like that. What else we got? I'm just going through all the ones we've seen. Blair Witch. I think that's got to go at a 7.
Yeah,
at least it's got to be. Yeah, a 7. Then Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
I literally just fucking
maybe like a 2. Yeah. It's not even really that scary. The Exorcist. Again,
I'd like to remind everyone of the time when the Freddy Krueger turned into a big TV and then went, "Here's your prime time, bitch," and then grabbed a woman's face and shoved it in his belly, his telly belly.
Like a fucking Oh god! I think The Exorcist would be a sort of 6 for me, maybe 6.5. It's disturbing on the bits that are scary. You have to cut out all that boring middle bit.
Yeah.
What else we got that we've both seen? Oh, the first Halloween. That's not even very scary. 2.5.
Really?
He's shit. He's boring the whole time. A big guy stabs a couple people, but like Matrix, more people die. You know, it's like it sucks. What's Craven's New Nightmare? The same. Oh, Halloween again. Which one's this one? Have we got that? We've actually just got that book like twice. Oh, that's a discovery. I guess we'll delete which way. Well, you've put 65 and 66.
Why have I
think
give it like
20.
a 65?
Because it's the same date. Weird. I guess we delete that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh God. 2.5 again. It's funny. It's too funny. Honestly. It's Chapter 2. Now, this is a weird one. It's a shit film. Like, you know, the remake with Bill Hader and that. It's a shit film, but it's probably scarier than Resident Evil.
Yeah, I'd put it above Silence of the Lambs, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because it's so shit, it distracts from how scary it is. Mm-hmm. So maybe I'd put it with Silence of the Lambs. Five Nights at Freddy's?
That goes at 1 with Shaun of the Dead. I did not get scared once during that movie. I started getting bored in it. I was like, fucking...
It's at least a 1.5.
It's like, yeah,
it's got to be a 1.5. Because I actually, when I think about how scared I was in that, and then watching Jack Black fuck around, maybe I'd say 2. In fact, you know what, actually? That should be a 2. Because Five Nights at Freddy's is basically for kids now, and it's a horror film. So it exactly actually does match.
Yeah, it's 2. It's 2.
Paranormal Activity, the first one.
I think that goes at like a 6. Or
I don't know, man. I just thought it was so shit. And when you get to horror movies that are really bad, it's hard to find them scary. I think that goes... I'll put it maybe 3 or 4.
Let's see.
Us.
I'd put that at like a 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's scary, even though it's kind of bad.
I'd put it at a 3.
Yeah, I'll go with a 5. Anyway, The Shining. Okay, that's just fucking boring.
I think I've put that at a 3 as well.
No. I'm more scared of The Matrix because there's like, what's even happening?
It's going cuckoo.
What's even happening for me to be scared of?
He's going crazy.
Is he? How do you know that? Because there's nothing that that's involved in that film to help me determine
an axe into a dude's chest. I think that might mean he's going...
Oh yeah, that means that some evil is occurring. But is it that he's gone insane? Is he possessed? Is he? What the fuck's going on here?
You saw that guy sucking off that other dude in like a lamb outfit.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Was that happening or was it not happening? Was it? I don't know what was happening.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I'd put that in like a
If
freak.
there's no chance of ever knowing what's going on, how am I going to be scared at it? You know, if I'm just seeing some shit happening on my screen,
Yeah, but-
what am I being scared of here?
But Jack Nicholson in the end was roasting like a big old isopop and it was like this.
1.5.
Yeah.
It's not even scary. It's shit. I just thought about. You've never seen? Is it called Mad God?
No, I've not seen Mad God. I was watching like a bit of it the other day. Just
You
like
should
a clip
watch
from
this.
It. Yeah,
You totally should watch this.
yeah.
You would just like it for the like style and different puppety characters.
Yeah.
There's not, so far as I'm aware, nothing like happens. Like there's not a story. There's just a bunch of weird stop motion. And it is, well, I mean, you can see some images here.
Yeah.
It is really fucking weird. There's like a gas mask wearing guy he's almost a main character. It's like weird. It's like he's kind of in the center of a bunch of shots, or like a focal point of a bunch of shots for a good chunk of it, but not all of it. And I'm not even sure it's most of it. It's just like he's probably in it more than most of them. I don't even know what's going on with that. I've not a clue where that would fit. Maybe 2.5. I don't know, but that's been interesting. It's almost an interesting activity to do for multiple genres. I think it's a lot easier to do for horror because obviously it's how scary something is. But can you imagine doing like a 1 to 10 scale of action films? Like, what's the most action film ever?
I'd find it a lot harder to do that.
Yeah. I think it'd probably be easier to do on comedy films. But even then, I think comedy is more subjective than what you find scary. But what genre do you think would be the next easiest to do that on? Like,
I'd say
the most. Like, can you imagine doing the most superhero-y film? Like, that's so hard.
I'd say comedy, because then you'd be looking at stuff like, is it a dark comedy? It's a black comedy. How much comedic elements in it? And like, I think, from one end to the other, it'd be like you'd have your non-stop sort of like hyperactive comedy, maybe sort of like a fucking Lego movie sort of thing, maybe a bit.
Lego movie would be your 10.
And that's not me saying like I think that's the best comedic film ever. That's me saying I feel like that it's all comedy.
No, because it's
like,
not all about comedy. It's like a kid's. It's more. I would say it's more an adventure film than a comedy film.
What? So like an 8, like a 7 or an 8,
like a 6 maybe. But I think like the purest of comedy, that's all about the comedy of films, might be something like like Will Ferrell films. Something like that.
What about
like Step Brothers?
What
or
about
something?
Jackass? Because that really has no point other than sort of
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
That might be the 10 of comedy.
Yeah.
And then your Will Ferrell movies could be like a 9.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this now, but like, it's interesting. Maybe we should do this next time. I'll put it on the list. We'll figure something out. But that is podcast for today. We've actually gone on longer than I expected. What are we at now? 245, something like that. There's a bunch of weird stuff, obviously, in terms of multi-streaming now. I'll try and figure that out after we've done today, and yeah, we'll just see you next time. Let's hope that Judd finds a job, because we need
I fucking hope so.
raise some money to do the 250 podcast special, because it will cost quite a bit of money.
Why didn't you hire me as like a roadie to carry all of your gear around?
I've just taken a pay cut. I can't do that. Bye, podcast done.